everyone! Welcome to our latest hero revamp, featuring Granger, the Death Chanter. After his revamp, Granger now has a more aggressive playstyle and can excel as both jungler and gold laner. Granger's weapons now consume a resource called demonic energy to unleash a barrage of pain on his unfortunate targets. Death Chanter Granger. Passive skill, Capriccio. Granger's passive has been reworked. Skills that uses Demon Hunter weapons now consume demonic energy, a resource that regenerates over time. When Granger kills minions or creeps or participates in hero takedowns, the demonic energy cap of his weapons will permanently increase, and he will also recover a small portion of energy. All cooldown reduction obtained by Granger is converted into physical attack. First skill, Rhapsody. Granger's first skill has been adjusted for a more sustained playstyle. The cooldown has been shortened significantly, and it can be cast as long as there's enough energy in his handgun. When Granger casts his first skill, he fires his handgun continuously in the target direction, dealing physical damage while consuming the handgun's energy. The final bullet of this attack will always crit. This skill deals bonus damage to creeps and minions, and Granger gains movement speed while shooting. Second skill, Rondo. Granger's dash remains mostly unchanged, but now grants demonic energy. When Granger uses his second skill, he dashes in the target direction and instantly replenishes a portion of his handgun's energy. Each time Granger hits an enemy with his first skill, it will reduce a portion of this skill's cooldown. Ultimate, Death Sonata. Granger's revamped ultimate now has an extremely short cooldown, but each shot will consume energy from his cannon. Granger's ultimate fires a large projectile in the target direction, dealing damage to enemy minions it passes through, and explodes upon hitting the first enemy hero, dealing AoE physical damage and briefly slowing targets. Granger can dash once in the target direction after each shot. The ultimate can also be used during his first skill. In the laning phase, use Granger's first skill to poke the enemy. When his energy gets low, use his second skill to replenish it and continue to poke with his first skill. In teamfights, use Granger's ultimate to poke from a safe distance and continue the attack with his first skill. When the first skill ends, use his ultimate again for more damage and to reposition. If enemies get close, use his second skill to create distance and continue dealing damage with his first skill. Granger possesses good mobility and sustained damage, but his damage output is dependent on his demonic energy, and he gets stronger as his energy cap increases. Upgrade Granger's first skill at level 1 and continue to prioritize upgrading it as the main source of his damage. Granger can use his second skill during his first skill to adjust his position and ensure the first skill lines up with the target. When Granger's first skill can no longer hit the enemy, tap the skill again or the ultimate to end the first skill and conserve demonic energy. Granger can permanently increase his demonic energy by killing minions and creeps. The more you kill, the more you can use his skills. We recommend the Assassin emblem for Granger with the Rupture, Festival of Blood, and Lethal Ignition talents. Granger's first skill deals enough damage to quickly trigger Lethal Ignition's Scorch effect, and because Granger is a skill damage hero, Festival of Blood will greatly enhance his sustainability. Blade of Despair is Granger's core equipment. It provides very high physical attack to boost Granger's skill damage. Build Hunter Strike in the early game for the physical attack and movement speed effect, and get Malefic Roar in the late game to deal with high physical defense targets. We recommend the Retribution battle spell for Granger. Granger's first skill deals bonus damage to creeps, making him an effective jungler. Granger can also take Flicker for the gold lane since he also deals bonus damage to minions. When laning, Flicker will help him escape enemy ganks. Granger counters squishy heroes who lack mobility, such as Chang'e and Cecilion, who have a hard time dodging his first skill and are vulnerable to the high damage of his ultimate. Granger is countered by heroes with strong single-target killing power. Despite having good mobility, Granger lacks other defensive measures. Heroes like Saber and Hayabusa can quickly get the jump on Granger and finish him off. Granger pairs well with heroes that have strong CC abilities, such as Franco and Kaja, who can hold enemies in place for Granger's entire first skill. Granger should focus on jungling in the early game to gain an economic advantage. As a marksman, Granger's skills have a higher damage bonus to kill creeps faster. By getting equipment ahead of the enemy, he can snowball the advantage and stay a strong threat throughout the match. In the mid to late game, Granger will have more demonic energy thanks to his passive, allowing for more uses of his ultimate and first skill. But it's important to continue farming creeps and minions to keep raising Granger's demonic energy to boost his combat prowess. Granger the Death Chanter revamp arriving November 6th. And until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
Do I really have what it takes? Let's burn. As bright as we can, Dexter. Till the very end.
Our determination will never be extinguished! Our cosmic blaze will never be extinguished! Cosmic flare! Time to shine, Dexter! Burn in the moment! Everyone has their own competitive dream! Burn with passion and always dare to shine!
everyone! Welcome to our latest hero revamp, featuring Granger, the Death Chanter. After his revamp, Granger now has a more aggressive playstyle and can excel as both jungler and gold laner. Granger's weapons now consume a resource called demonic energy to unleash a barrage of pain on his unfortunate targets. Death Chanter Granger. Passive skill, Capriccio. Granger's passive has been reworked. Skills that uses Demon Hunter weapons now consume demonic energy, a resource that regenerates over time. When Granger kills minions or creeps or participates in hero takedowns, the demonic energy cap of his weapons will permanently increase, and he will also recover a small portion of energy. All cooldown reduction obtained by Granger is converted into physical attack. First skill, Rhapsody. Granger's first skill has been adjusted for a more sustained playstyle. The cooldown has been shortened significantly, and it can be cast as long as there's enough energy in his handgun. When Granger casts his first skill, he fires his handgun continuously in the target direction, dealing physical damage while consuming the handgun's energy. The final bullet of this attack will always crit. This skill deals bonus damage to creeps and minions, and Granger gains movement speed while shooting. Second skill, Rondo. Granger's dash remains mostly unchanged, but now grants demonic energy. When Granger uses his second skill, he dashes in the target direction and instantly replenishes a portion of his handgun's energy. Each time Granger hits an enemy with his first skill, it will reduce a portion of this skill's cooldown. Ultimate, Death Sonata. Granger's revamped ultimate now has an extremely short cooldown, but each shot will consume energy from his cannon. Granger's ultimate fires a large projectile in the target direction, dealing damage to enemy minions it passes through, and explodes upon hitting the first enemy hero, dealing AoE physical damage and briefly slowing targets. Granger can dash once in the target direction after each shot. The ultimate can also be used during his first skill. In the laning phase, use Granger's first skill to poke the enemy. When his energy gets low, use his second skill to replenish it and continue to poke with his first skill. In teamfights, use Granger's ultimate to poke from a safe distance and continue the attack with his first skill. When the first skill ends, use his ultimate again for more damage and to reposition. If enemies get close, use his second skill to create distance and continue dealing damage with his first skill. Granger possesses good mobility and sustained damage, but his damage output is dependent on his demonic energy, and he gets stronger as his energy cap increases. Upgrade Granger's first skill at level 1 and continue to prioritize upgrading it as the main source of his damage. Granger can use his second skill during his first skill to adjust his position and ensure the first skill lines up with the target. When Granger's first skill can no longer hit the enemy, tap the skill again or the ultimate to end the first skill and conserve demonic energy. Granger can permanently increase his demonic energy by killing minions and creeps. The more you kill, the more you can use his skills. We recommend the Assassin emblem for Granger with the Rupture, Festival of Blood, and Lethal Ignition talents. Granger's first skill deals enough damage to quickly trigger Lethal Ignition's Scorch effect, and because Granger is a skill damage hero, Festival of Blood will greatly enhance his sustainability. Blade of Despair is Granger's core equipment. It provides very high physical attack to boost Granger's skill damage. Build Hunter Strike in the early game for the physical attack and movement speed effect, and get Malefic Roar in the late game to deal with high physical defense targets. We recommend the Retribution battle spell for Granger. Granger's first skill deals bonus damage to creeps, making him an effective jungler. Granger can also take Flicker for the gold lane since he also deals bonus damage to minions. When laning, Flicker will help him escape enemy ganks. Granger counters squishy heroes who lack mobility, such as Chang'e and Cecilion, who have a hard time dodging his first skill and are vulnerable to the high damage of his ultimate. Granger is countered by heroes with strong single-target killing power. Despite having good mobility, Granger lacks other defensive measures. Heroes like Saber and Hayabusa can quickly get the jump on Granger and finish him off. Granger pairs well with heroes that have strong CC abilities, such as Franco and Kaja, who can hold enemies in place for Granger's entire first skill. Granger should focus on jungling in the early game to gain an economic advantage. As a marksman, Granger's skills have a higher damage bonus to kill creeps faster. By getting equipment ahead of the enemy, he can snowball the advantage and stay a strong threat throughout the match. In the mid to late game, Granger will have more demonic energy thanks to his passive, allowing for more uses of his ultimate and first skill. But it's important to continue farming creeps and minions to keep raising Granger's demonic energy to boost his combat prowess. Granger the Death Chanter revamp arriving November 6th. And until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
Do I really have what it takes? Let's burn. As bright as we can, Dexter. Till the very end.
Our determination will never be extinguished! Our cosmic blaze will never be extinguished! Cosmic flare! Time to shine, Dexter! Burn in the moment! Everyone has their own competitive dream! Burn with passion and always dare to shine!
everyone! Welcome to our latest hero revamp, featuring Granger, the Death Chanter. After his revamp, Granger now has a more aggressive playstyle and can excel as both jungler and gold layer. Granger's weapons now consume a resource called demonic energy to unleash a barrage of pain on his unfortunate targets. Death Chanter Granger. Passive skill, Capriccio. Granger's passive has been reworked. Skills that uses Demon Hunter weapons now consume demonic energy, a resource that regenerates over time. When Granger kills minions or creeps or participates in hero takedowns, the demonic energy cap of his weapons will permanently increase, and he will also recover a small portion of energy. All cooldown reduction obtained by Granger is converted into physical attack. First skill, Rhapsody. Granger's first skill has been adjusted for a more sustained playstyle. The cooldown has been shortened significantly, and it can be cast as long as there's enough energy in his handgun. When Granger casts his first skill, he fires his handgun continuously in the target direction, dealing physical damage while consuming the handgun's energy. The final bullet of this attack will always crit. This skill deals bonus damage to creeps and minions, and Granger gains movement speed while shooting. Second skill, Rondo. Granger's dash remains mostly unchanged, but now grants demonic energy. When Granger uses his second skill, he dashes in the target direction and instantly replenishes a portion of his handgun's energy. Each time Granger hits an enemy with his first skill, it will reduce a portion of this skill's cooldown. Ultimate, Death Sonata. Granger's revamped ultimate now has an extremely short cooldown, but each shot will consume energy from his cannon. Granger's ultimate fires a large projectile in the target direction, dealing damage to enemy minions it passes through, and explodes upon hitting the first enemy hero, dealing AoE physical damage and briefly slowing targets. Granger can dash once in the target direction after each shot. The ultimate can also be used during his first skill. In the laning phase, use Granger's first skill to poke the enemy. When his energy gets low, use his second skill to replenish it and continue to poke with his first skill. In teamfights, use Granger's ultimate to poke from a safe distance and continue the attack with his first skill. When the first skill ends, use his ultimate again for more damage and to reposition. If enemies get close, use his second skill to create distance and continue dealing damage with his first skill. Granger possesses good mobility and sustained damage, but his damage output is dependent on his demonic energy, and he gets stronger as his energy cap increases. Upgrade Granger's first skill at level 1 and continue to prioritize upgrading it as the main source of his damage. Granger can use his second skill during his first skill to adjust his position and ensure the first skill lines up with the target. When Granger's first skill can no longer hit the enemy, tap the skill again or the ultimate to end the first skill and conserve demonic energy. Granger can permanently increase his demonic energy by killing minions and creeps. The more you kill, the more you can use his skills. We recommend the Assassin emblem for Granger with the Rupture, Festival of Blood, and Lethal Ignition talents. Granger's first skill deals enough damage to quickly trigger Lethal Ignition's Scorch effect, and because Granger is a skill damage hero, Festival of Blood will greatly enhance his sustainability. Blade of Despair is Granger's core equipment. It provides very high physical attack to boost Granger's skill damage. Build Hunter Strike in the early game for the physical attack and movement speed effect, and get Malefic Roar in the late game to deal with high physical defense targets. We recommend the Retribution battle spell for Granger. Granger's first skill deals bonus damage to creeps, making him an effective jungler. Granger can also take Flicker for the gold lane since he also deals bonus damage to minions. When laning, Flicker will help him escape enemy ganks. Granger counters squishy heroes who lack mobility, such as Chang'e and Cecilion, who have a hard time dodging his first skill and are vulnerable to the high damage of his ultimate. Granger is countered by heroes with strong single-target killing power. Despite having good mobility, Granger lacks other defensive measures. Heroes like Saber and Hayabusa can quickly get the jump on Granger and finish him off. Granger pairs well with heroes that have strong CC abilities, such as Franco and Kaja, who can hold enemies in place for Granger's entire first skill. Granger should focus on jungling in the early game to gain an economic advantage. As a marksman, Granger's skills have a higher damage bonus to kill creeps faster. By getting equipment ahead of the enemy, he can snowball the advantage and stay a strong threat throughout the match. In the mid to late game, Granger will have more demonic energy thanks to his passive, allowing for more uses of his ultimate and first skill. But it's important to continue farming creeps and minions to keep raising Granger's demonic energy to boost his combat prowess. Granger the Death Chanter revamp arriving November 6th. And until next time, we'll be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.
Do I really have what it takes? Let's burn. As bright as we can, Dexter. Till the very end.
Our determination will never be extinguished! Our cosmic blaze will never be extinguished! Cosmic flare! Time to shine, Dexter! Burn in the moment! Everyone has their own competitive dream! Burn with passion and always dare to shine!
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to MIC Season 1, powered by MOBA 5v5 and Vortex Esports. This is Day 2, Round 16, and this will be the best of 3 between LCF and LUMINAIRE'S LYRE. I am your caster Asuya, and joining me is the GOAT, Mako. So hi there, Mako.
Hello, Asia, and hi, everyone. This is going to be so exciting. Asia, what do you feel about this? We are already at the banning phase, and it is going to Team LCF. I just feel like we are going to see some bans who are like team oriented. I feel
The
like,
fire of
okay, this
battle
is
your
not a
team
team
never
oriented ban. I was
extinguishes.
so wrong. Do you think this is a good ban, Asia?
Sir,
I
what's your
think
command?
that
Your
Marsha is
team is
definitely a
banning.
respect ban because I've seen Luminaries play before, and one of the players do play that core lane Marsha, and of course, Marsha towards the late game can one shot people. So maybe they just do not want to, spend the resources. They do not want to take that risk, maybe.
Now, this is a kind of insight we needed. Thank you, Asia. So, that is a targeted respect ban. And that is not the only target ban, guys, because, of course, Lomla Mai is in the team of LCF. So, his Fanny has also been banned. If I may say, he is one of the best Fanny players in India. So, this is coming together all like very reasonable.
Well, yes, and also Fanny did receive that buff recently, and then she's been flying around pretty, everywhere. So I really believe
Your
that
team
she is
is
a
banning.
ban worthy hero right there. But then again, if we talk
Who
about
said there
respect
are no
bans, they
shortcuts
might
in
Your
even ban
life?
team
out the
is
I
Louis
banning.
for
literally
Peter
invented
because
one.
I have seen Peter play that Louis, and he's insane.
Yes, completely. As I was saying that we might be seeing some team fight oriented heroes, and there we go. So Phobius and Chip have also been removed.
Also, two of the heroes whom we do not want to mess around with because Phoebus did receive a little nerf, but that did not impact his performance at all. He can be there in the forefront, in the vanguard, take out, buy that space and time for your team to provide a lot of damage.
Yes, completely. And as far as Low is concerned, I just feel like maybe Gato will be a ban. And of course, Low is really good on
Muscle
Peter.
of
And
iron.
Your
as I was
team
saying,
Arms of
is
Gato may
steel.
be
banning.
banned, and he is banned. But I just feel like she is lacking a lot of mobility and maybe countered with like something like Alice or like some other jungler who has a superior mobility.
Well, true, and of course he is one of the meta picks with the firepower right now, especially with that AOTG. He can dive
The
in
Immortal
at the
One
nick of
chose me
time
to
and
vanquish
take
the
Your
down the
team
shadows
lives.
is
that
picking.
plague
And
this world.
especially towards the late game, he gets kind of immortal with his passive. So I think a great ban. But
Fight!
then
Fight
just
for
look
the
at
Your
that,
team
Mako. The
is
first
picking.
pick from Pine will be a Hilda.
Yes, I feel like Matilda and Hilda, both of them are doing really good in this meta. And that is gonna be a lot of disturbance coming in because Pine is one of the the main junglers or sorry the main EXP laners of LCF. So there's going to be a lot of invade and disturbance coming in from him. And Hilda, with her recent buffs and all, like this is going to be so
Destroy
troublesome for
and
whoever is going to be the
conquer.
jungler. So I just feel like if it's an assassin jungler, they are going to be delayed. So maybe a fighter would be better. And Zask coming in from the red team. Zask is something of a what should I say, a non-meta right now. Like
Time
he
to
was
take the
doing really
field.
good
Your team is
recently,
picking.
but it's a thing of the near past. And look at that. Bruno on K2, like he is really good with the Bruno. And the gold lane, like this is looking good with the recent patches onto the Malefic gun, the extra range, the extra penetration, and the zeal, like the mobility onto Bruno. The volley shots are literally gonna hurt.
Well, true. Like he is on the rise, especially after the Malefic gun, just like you mentioned. But then again, picking up a Zask as the first pick, I, sincerely believe it's not a wise decision because no one will ban out a Zask, right? They might go in for a Vexana and Aurora or even the Valentina, but no one goes for the Zask. So maybe they could have prioritized
Always on
something
the
like
way.
Matilda.
Trust.
Just look at that,
Alpha
Matilda
is
and
Your
and
Exactly.
team is
Alpha.
picking.
Just like three of the fire powers in the hands of LCF at this point.
Oh my god, this is looking really like I'm really liking the draft of LCF because Matilda and Alpha are such a good combo, and Hilda on the EXP like that's a lot of annoyance. The damage coming in, and Matilda is like some heroes like Alpha, even like Roger. Once you dive in with the Spear of Alpha or the Lycan Pounds or something, like that is a commitment you are doing for the fights and there's a backing out, like you cannot actually like walk out of the five people. But with
I'm the
Matilda
priestess
on
of
the team,
primal lightning.
like you can
The
actually
hunter of
commit
all the
and
evil
actually come
gods.
out back to safety if you have any issues. So that is just such a good combination. Also, the shields coming in and the life saving moment from the flask of Oasis. Like, I just feel like
Butterfly
they are
is
doing a better
born by
job
the
of drafting
leash,
right now.
guided by
And oh,
lantern's
Lucian was
light.
open for so long, but that's fine because Peter has a lot of other options. As you see, like Sicilian is open.
For
Of course,
honor!
as you said,
Your
Loyi would be
team
a
is
viable option
banning.
for him as well.
I highly agree. Like the bans for Peter, like I really believe that instead of the Zask, maybe that Zushin could have been a better option, especially because they do have a Hilda, they do have an Alpha, two of the fighters who will be rushing towards you. But then again, they do have Johan on the Matilda, providing opening up a lot of team compositions when she is on the team. And with that, the third pick of that Edith. I don't know how will this go because like she is a good hero, but then again, I do not see that why was she picked? Like whom does she even counter here?
I just feel like they are trying to get Edith for like, tanking the damage from
To
Alpha.
me,
Your
Because
only
Alpha
team
is
progress
just
is
gonna charge
matters.
banning.
her up and let her use like the primal wrath to the full extent. At the same time, the Earth Shatter and Onward Loop coming in from her as a form of chain CC. So she can actually like disengage Alpha's like, engages. But at the same time, against Hilda, that might be a little difficult because Hilda is not gonna give her time of the day to Edith. So I feel like she is just gonna ignore Edith and go back onto like Bruno or maybe Zask after his nightmaric spawn has been used.
Well, true, and
Still
I
waters
highly
run
believe
deep.
a
Your
CC being
team
picked
is
here
banning.
against the Hilda could have been a great option because she can do one versus one pretty easily and melt down Hilda because she does have that passive. But then again, they went in for the Edith right there, and again she is a flex pick. She can go for the roam, she can go for the EXP or even the gold lane. No, she won't be going to the gold lane because Bruno is
No,
already
she
there.
won't.
Yeah,
Yes, but you are absolutely right because Edith is a lot of a like flex pick here. But at the same time, I just believe that it is a questionable pick as well. But I feel like we have to let them like show us the gameplay, the synergies, the strategies which they are drafting right now.
well, true. And as the clock is ticking by, we're just waiting for that first pick on the second phase of. And just look at it, Fluffy will be going for an Angela. So they might be going for some tanky jungler. A Fredrin could be there. What do you think, Michael?
Now that is completely understandable if they are going for Frederick, but at the same time, I just believe Alpha can melt down like tanky heroes with his true damage. And look at that. Like Sicilian also is having a lot of damage in this patch, so I just believe it might be a bit hard to sustain all the damage coming in.
I highly agree with Sicilian is one of the best mages in my opinion because he has the range and he can scale infinitely. He can even go towards the gold
Magic
lane
is
and
my
he will fill it
life.
out,
Among the
especially towards the
plains
late game. He can
exists
one
the
shot people.
equilibrium,
But look at that,
which
Peter will
I
be
was
going
never
in
the
for a
sky
Loy, a
tells
kind of a
all.
hitbox composition, a
Oh,
great support. Like they have engage, they have disengage, they have slow and error on the turret. Especially towards the late game, that damage, that true damage will be insane.
completely. But at the same time, Esmeralda is also looking pretty good. Like she's gonna steal all of the shields, like the guiding wheel shield from Matilda, the real world manipulation shield coming in from Eve, and the chrono dash shield coming in from Harrod. Like that is a lot of region for Esmeralda right there. So that is a real game changing composition. But at the same time, I just feel like Eve is a good pick. Like she's like its control tower, with a huge hitbox and all those debuffs. Like the amount of slow is insane, and the burns, anti-heal, everything coming in. But I just feel like both of them have a
Welcome
really
to
good
MOBA
draft. Although I
Legends!
might still be clinging in towards the LCF draft. What do you feel, Asiya?
5 seconds till the
Well,
enemy
as we
reaches the
move on to
battlefield.
the land of
Smash
Dawn,
them!
Mako, I would like to answer, and I think even
Ults
I am
deployed!
a bit biased towards the draft of LCF because they do have a late game, they do have a strong early game. Meanwhile, Esmeralda is kind of a changer pick, just like you said, because she can absorb a lot of shields. But then again, the enemy is not stupid. They will be making out a lot of anti heal. Like, so And I really believe that, Esmeralda, especially after all those nerfs, if she receives a bit of anti heal from the enemy, her performance does go a bit weak.
Yes, completely understandable. And she also has a very limited range. So I just feel like Matilda is gonna help in repositioning of Eve. And Harriet has enough mobility to reposition himself. And with the Zaman force coming in, I just feel like it might be a bit of trouble. But at the same time, I've said this before, that Harriet against a Bruno is not exactly a good matchup, I feel, because Bruno can easily burst him down. Like, while Harriet has a lot of mobility and damage, but he is really susceptible to all that, burst crit damage which is gonna come in. And I, as a Lila player, I have like bursted down so many Harrods with my range. But now with the new Malefic gun, Bruno is gonna be able to do the same feat. So, well, all the best, both of you.
Yes, true, but just look at the bot lane right there. Hilda looking really low. Fine, will be using that speed up, and the emote comes there with Esmeralda and Fluffy Unicorn right onto her heels. The revitalize has also been popped up, and I think she will be able to run away. Like in the early game, she is really hard to take down. And but the alpha charge is coming
Very
in so
hard.
strong. Oh my god, Guang, she looking low. Sask will be the first blood of the match. At the same time, look at Alpha looking really low. Rafael trying to just escape for that one hit. The real world manipulation, I think that was kind of a waste because there was no support.
That was a bit of a waste, but at the same time, they managed to like make them withdraw. And look at that, the Void Crystal. But Hilda loses her life. I just feel like Hilda is playing a bit too aggressively. Like, I don't realize that she has a lot of shield mobility and the early advantage. But still, I feel that is a little bit overestimation of her skills or survivability.
I mean, but she was successful at zoning people away. They were going in for the turtle, but look at Tyrant looking really low. The hard guard coming on to him. Three people right there. But Esmeralda also joining in. Steven trying to shout that damage onto the Eve. Eve looking really low, but the guiding wind will be helping her to reposition, secure her life for now.
As I said, Esmeralda just has a really low range, and with Matilda and the enemy, like all the others can. Oh, that's a good kill onto Zaz. The alpha charge looking strong. So yeah, as I was saying, like Eve is the only one with like very low mobility. So Eve is gonna have all the guiding winds towards herself until unless it is a very detrimental situation for the others.
Well, true, I highly agree, but just look at the bot lane. People are duking it out. Johan and Pine and Alpha with the Alpha charge coming in, the circling eagle. But Steven still survives, but for how long? As that chunky HP will be taken down. Meanwhile, just look at Pine. He's so aggressive, trying to poke her way. But wait a second, the real world manipulation coming in once again. I think it is a waste though, but because no one was able to get the damage or the support, but at the same time, the blue buff fight still going on. Zask looking really low. His ultimate has been used up, and look at that primal rush from Fluffy Unicorn. But the revitalize has also been popped up. I think Esmeralda will be able to secure that kill onto Pine.
I just feel like Pine is working as a sacrificial pawn, but oh, look at what's going on at the top lane.
I mean, Error looking really low, and I think they will just be disengaging because he was able to retreat safely back into the turret.
I just feel like Pine is playing as a sacrificial lamb. Like he's doing a lot of like aggression so that the team is not able to charge forward. And real world manipulation is actually being misused a bit. Like it's just being used for zoning and like making them withdraw. Like not exactly in the sense of damage. Like look at that. Like even Esmeralda has a very nice position.
I mean, true, but look at the Zaman force in the top lane and the real world manipulation, and Bruno will be taking down Esmeralda, going in for that kill onto Error. The hard card has also been used up by her. It's 3 against 1, but I don't think she will be engaging anymore. But she's still looking in the bad position. They might be even looking to take down the first turret, but what was that positioning, Zohan? Just one hit was secured. That kill onto you.
That was a lot of damage as well, especially because the Feather of Heaven is already in place. I just feel like Johan was trying to like zone it out, but at the same time, he could have been a bit safer because Esmeralda will not be diving in between Alpha and Eve there. So, Matilda could have stayed a bit like out of range.
True, but just look at Fine right there trying to disrupt Esma's farm. The Revitalize also giving her back that HP. She's so tanky. She's, just like you mentioned, that punch back for the team right now, doing an amazing job trying to delay the enemy jungle swarm.
Completely. As I said, like that is a lot of nuisance coming in from Hilda, but this Hilda is like even doing more than I expected. Like her aggression is a lot like my mom when she's angry with a slipper in her hand. So like I'll just see her and I'll be like, okay, I'm just done for, and I'll just go back to my room. So this is what is happening. They are looking at Hilda and they are trying to retreat.
True. Just look at our Harris. He was taken down, but I think Zask also in the same situation, but the ultimate was used to secure that position.
Exactly. I just look at that. Zask saw Hilda and he was forced to use up his ultimate. Like that is the impact of Hilda, like mommy with the belt coming directly onto you. Like you have to be safe there. But look at what's going on at the top lane. Okay, there's another disengage and they just go back to safety. That is a good decision because Bruno needs a bit more farm. Oh, the fear of Alpha bit onto Natalia. Because there was the real world manipulation looking strong.
And I don't think so they will be able to successfully escape once again. That last heal coming from Angela securing her life. But then just look at that, the turtle has been traded up at the same time as they were wasting that time in the top lane. But near the blow up, the Alpha charge and the circling eagle onto Kwang Chi, but she will be able to retreat. Steven and Unicorn looking really low. The primal rod was used up. The damage is still in there. Fine looking really low. The Revitalize has been popped up. Meanwhile, look at that. Bruno securing that kill. And the Zaman first. Harris joining in. And Esma will be really low. The hard guard will not be able to secure that life. And Angela will also be taken down as it is a double kill secured by error.
I feel like again that was such a good engage. Hilda is doing all the aggression, and while the primal rat and the ultimates are being baited out and being used up on Hilda. And at that moment, Alpha is jumping in with a spear of Alpha to secure the kills. And Eve is there, she already has her Ice Queen wand and the glowing wand. So that is a lot of slow anti-heal damage coming in from her from the backside. Oh, the falling star and moon onto Harris. But the hitbox is here and the real world manipulation to the rescue. Killing spree by Harriet onto Angela, and both the heroes have been taken down. Esmeralda and Angela traded off.
Intro, and just look at Zohan. He's so aggressive right now. It's been 8 minutes into the game, they have 11 kills, and just look at the goal lead in the favor of LCF right now. They are doing an amazing job. Meanwhile, at the other side, not looking good. They're kind of boxed up because only 3 of their inhibitors are left.
As I said, although that was a game changer or a very balanced upsetting pick onto Esmeralda, but Esmeralda is going on with the damage well. Look at that. She has the arcane boots and then she has the feather on 7 and the stallion sign. That is a lot of damage, but she does not have any sustain. And also the true damage, and Eve with all the debuffs onto Esmeralda, this is going to be really hard for her to survive even with the hard guard. And Error just got his holy crystal. Holy god, is that a lot of damage now?
Truly 9 minutes and having one of the most expensive item in the game. Truly your team is doing well, and with that they will be also securing the first Lord out there. And just like you mentioned before, but wait a second, I think there will be an engage as the circling eagle coming in, but they will just be disengaging. And they just want to maybe take down that holy shield from the inhibitor, because they do have the Lord. Maybe just wait it out and sink those lanes for now.
Yes, I feel like that is a good decision because once the turrets have lost their shield, so the minions are actually safe. And since this is not an advanced luminous lord, so there's going to be a bit of issues, but at the same time, if you just play it well, you could even get down one of the inhibitors.
True, and Peter doing a great job, even though those real world manipulations were kind of missed in the early game. But right now, Eve is a hero. If your team snowballs, she can be really, really precious. At the same time, if your team is on the losing end, she's not much of a use. But the circling eagle coming in fine is also inside there. But the first mid-tier turret, wait a second, the Alpha charge connecting onto Unicorn. Unicorn just securing barely in 1 HP, the real one manipulation, and the hard card has also been used up on the Esmeralda. They're losing their life. The HP of the base is also draining away as both the teams are trying to duke it out. Lord is also there, but just look at Esmeralda. He will be taken down by the Harith, and I think they will not be able to sustain as the first victory will be going in the hands of LCF. What a game.
That was a good game, but at the same time, this is one of the reasons why I like, a hero who is a marksman because they can lock onto the base. Because even at the last, you saw Harith getting kills, and there's a lot of damage coming in from Harith. The synchro vision, that is a AoE skill, and he has enough damage and all. But it was actually, the Lord and the minions who were marking the base. Also, Alpha did a very good job at it. Like, just look at it. Eve, Alpha, and Harith actually have nearly the same amount of turret push. Like, Eve is at 22% and Harith is at 28%. So just imagine Eve and Harith having the same amount of turret push. Like, the mage and the marksman or the gold laner. So, well, these are the things which actually make me question like, this was a very dominated match from the beginning. But if this was not so, like, one wipeout and a Mia or, a Bruno or like a MM can actually help you like finish it up. But at the same time, since they were dominating and they had really good map control, all the momentum was in their favor. So I have no right to criticize the draft. But at the same time, I just said that I did like that draft. So, well, what do you feel, Asia?
I mean, I highly agree with you. You've given the best analysis ever. Like, the draft is, like, most of the time it's a draft where you lose out. Like, like, honestly, we knew it, the draft isn't that well because picking up a Zask is not there in the meta. At the same time, Bruno does scale off, but where is the front line who will actually protect you? I mean, Esma is on completely damaged build. At the same time, Edith not being able to do anything either. She's getting melted away. So Bruno not getting that window of opportunity to deal that burst damage because that's what you want from him, right?
Exactly, like look at that. Edith went for the Thunderbolt and then the Feather of Heaven. Like I'm not saying that is a bad build, but at the same time, that is not the build which will let you like frontline and tank on all the damage because Esme and Edith, both of them do not have any defense items. And frankly speaking, I've said this before a lot of times, but Thunderbolt is not a defense item, guys. It is an item for like extra damage and all, which falls under the defense category. Even like Dominance Ice is a debuff item, Oracle is a buff item. So if you're looking for defense, like Antikyros, Blade Armor, Athena Shield, Radiant Armor, these are the defense items. Twilight Armor, like they have proper defense and they are going to increase your survivability. But brute force, then this thunderbolt, like these are like more of damage and like a bit of sustain, but not a proper defense. So exactly. They were not able to create a window. Bruno did not get enough farm, and well, the rest is history. We already know what happened.
Well, yes, with this, ladies and gentlemen, we will be going for a short break, but stay tuned because the second match is still on the go.
Our determination will never be extinguished! Our cosmic blaze will never be extinguished! Cosmic flare! Time to shine, Dexter! Burn in the moment!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and
Sir,
welcome back
what's your
to
command?
the game 2 between LCF versus LUMINAIRE'S LYRE. In the first game, LCF took a dominant, aggressive victory, mostly owing to the beautiful draft they had, and
Who said
I
there are
think
no
we just
shortcuts
need
in
to wait it
life?
out and
I
watch in
literally
this best of
invented
three
one.
that will it be a clean sweep for LCF or will Luminaries Liars will be able to show us some epic comeback. I am your caster Asuya and once again with me will be none other than Mako. So hi there Mako.
The fire of
Hello,
battle!
guys,
Your
and
travel
yes, we are
extinguishes!
back. And look at that, already the respect bands are coming in. This is looking pretty similar to last time, but I just feel like they would be a bit wary of Hilda as well. And Eve too. Like, I think those two were the ones who created the most annoyance for them.
Well true.
I just
Eve.
feel like they might be like swapping out one of the bands. I'm really sorry for cutting you, but at least on the second phase, if they do not pick Eve first, I just feel like it might just get banned. What do you feel, Asim?
Well, I highly agree with you, but then again, I think Eve can easily be countered when, like, just pick up a Kadeta, or even a Sicilian can do a great job with his range, but they had a Sask, which really couldn't, dish out any damage. They couldn't
Always on the
prioritize the
way!
priority pick,
Your
so I
team is
think
banning.
they wouldn't be banning out the Eve, but you can easily counter her. But Hilda could be a ban, Mako.
Yes, I completely agree with you. And I just feel like the LCF
Fight!
will be,
Fight for
yeah.
the ultimate answer.
I was just gonna say that LCF might just want to ban her because they don't want her in the enemy team. Because we have already seen the amount of sustain she has, and if used aggressively, the amount of, like, what should I say, the annoyance or the amount of problem you can create while the jungler is jungling at the early game.
Well, yes, true. But then a lot of heroes are still yet onto the grab. Like Ling is open, Seer is open, Alpha is open, Khalid is open, Phobos is open. So much open for Luminaries Lyre.
Entrances to the
But they
shadow
will
Your
be
at your
team
going
is
for
service.
banning.
Granger. Like it's been a while since I saw someone
I'm not
playing a
the only
revamp
one
Granger.
bound by
But then again,
destiny.
Mako, I don't think so
Your
that
team is
Granger is
picking.
someone you prioritize as the first pick.
Now this is the twist because K2 is a very, very good Granger player. He used to be Granger Hyper, but at the same time, I just feel like Granger's revamp is very much suitable for the gold lane as well. So this should be really interesting to watch because the Rhapsody and the Rondo combo coming in, like the cooldown of Rondo is so less. He has so much mobility. Last year, even when I was playing 1-1, like I could not catch up to Granger with my Inspire and he just bursted me down with his Death Sonata and Rhapsody combo. So I just feel this might
My mission
be a
is to
very
protect
interesting matchup
lives.
at the gold lane because both of them are on heroes they are really comfortable with.
Well, let's see. Like now that you say it, even I'm really excited to see how these two marksmen
Your
duke it
team
out in
is
the goal lane.
picking.
And with that, we will be seeing Pine on the phobias. Meanwhile, Rafe will be going in for a high loss, and it will be a Lunox for
Purple
the
and
mid
Koopa
lane.
are the best partners Your in the team is world.
And that
banning.
is interesting because it's been a long time since I saw Lunox in the mid lane. But at the same time, Lunox is such a, what should I say, evergreen pick that I just love her every time
I am
I
the
see her.
moonlight that
Your
breaks
team
through the
is banning.
darkness.
Well, I highly agree, but then again, she does lack a bit of a range. And nowadays, whatever mid laners have been picked up, like they are known for their CC, they are known for their range. But like that's why she's played mostly onto the gold lane because she has a high burst potential, but the range is
Exactly.
still less.
Very less, and I just feel like she does not have the control potential. I'm not talking about the crowd control, but in general, like the poke and the control, like the vision, like what Loy or like Eve or Sicilian can do, like the sanguine claws just pulling you up and
Butterflies
disrupting your
buzz
Your
as I
team
orientation,
is
wish.
and
banning.
a lot of
Guided
things which
by
are actually
lantern
missing
flight.
in from Lunox. And at the same time, you
Ready?
can just see
Go! Your
that
team is
Hylos
banning.
is also missing a bit of potential here because his law and order can only lock onto one person. But well, let's just see what is happening on. And I just see a Leela ban. Okay, this is really strange. Are they trying to like get around with this? Because Peter on Popol Koopa and the Leela ban coming in. Now this is really making me question what they are trying to do.
Well, even I'm flummoxed because la- unless they're going in for tank Lala, there is no need to ban out a Lala, right?
No,
And
actually the thing
Hope
is,
they
frankly
find a
speaking,
way.
They know me. Like, if I was there, I could have expected, like, I've seen a Layla ban against me in tournaments a lot of times. Like, if they are expecting Granger to go for the jungle, but at the same time, I just don't believe that they would be fearing Leela. Just like, no way. But okay, I'm just gonna be happy and pretend that they are respecting my Layla. So let's just end it at that. So there you go, a Kufra pick. What do you feel about Kufra in this lineup?
You know, I don't know how Johan plays on the Kufra, but then again, I really love this tank, especially because most of the heroes nowadays do have a blink, and he can just, be around. He even has a lot of damage, honestly, especially towards the early game. He can burst down low HP pretty easily by himself. And his initiations, it can either be a game changer for you, or a game maker, or a game breaker. So I really love this tank, but then again, it needs a lot of positioning and a
I
lot
will
of
protect
initiations, a
you.
good ones that
Your
too.
team is picking.
Completely true. Like the Tyrant's Revenge is such a good skill, and couple it up with Flicker, you can be really annoying. But at the same time, I feel like his damage is not to be underestimated either. His passive, the curse, my god, couple it up with like the Thunderbolt, and he can actually steal a lot of kills. And look at that, Nana. Do you want to be friends with Nana?
Well, I don't think so, or maybe first of all, I really wanted to say that if instead of the Lunox there was a Eve, a Hylos and a Eve combination can actually be really annoying because both of them can multiply that slow effect.
Slow, yeah, completely. I was just feeling like that would have been so cute if Nana just threw her Molina smooch and that Numenon shield coming in and you just get re-smooched by Molina's like that would be such a Uno reverse, but guys, that is still possible because Whale's knockup can also be reflected by the shield. So that is looking really interesting as well. Like I've seen this, I'm like I've done this, I've been there, and I'm just gonna be like, oh, the wind draft knock up, and suddenly it just knocks me up. I was like, okay, this was not supposed to happen.
True, I think Lolita is a great tank, especially because of his shield. And yeah, she can literally disrupt a whale skill, and she can also do for Bruno.
Welcome to
But then
MOBA
again, let's just see
Legends.
how it works out because she's not completely a tank, right? Like people
5 seconds
use
till
her
the
as a
enemy
semi
reaches the
healer, but I
battlefield.
do see
Smash
Guangxi
them.
is on a concussive blast instead of that heal, the revitalize. So I don't know if she will be going for that flask of Oasis or not.
I just feel like she might be going for it, but at the same time, let's just see what happens because she is going for the favor, and the favor was actually working well with the Flask of Oasis, and her skills have been buffed like the passive of the Numenon core. But at the same time, while I do have confidence onto Kato's Granger, I just feel like the others are not exactly taken seriously, or this is not the kind of draft or the picks I was expecting from them.
Well, true. I mean, they do have a tanky hyper at this time. Like even last game, they did have an Esmeralda, but this time it is our what's it, Martis. But then again,
Yes,
Mika,
but I'm actually meaning from the LCF side because Peter as a jungler onto Popple and
oh,
then Lom Lom on Vale. Like this is a really questionable draft for me. Like I'm not talking about the hero choices, but the roles. Like these are not exactly their main roles. So I'm just not sure if they're just taking this lightly or they are just okay and just trying to drag it on to the whole series.
I mean, you just mentioned, and I just noticed that they have swapped their roles. But then again, they did win out the first game, and they might be just looking to chill in the second game because they do have another game if they lose it out. But then again, at the
Exactly.
same time,
So I like they are not taking this seriously enough. And as a caster, I must say I must call out to them because guys, this is not good. Like this is a bit like overconfident or something. I still feel yeah. Go ahead and lose them.
oh my god. And I do see Cupra charging in with not connecting onto anyone. And I was really hoping that if you have a Mortis in the game, you should have a lot of burst potential, but they do not have any early game aggressions from their side to have that use that early game potential that Mortis has. I mean, just look at that, they're not even contesting for the turtle. But Cupra charging in, and
Oh, and the first blood, the
already
time
taking
ribbons
away.
connecting. Yeah, I just feel like Martis is actually really good with like AOE mages or something because you just deal a lot of damage, and Martis is gonna be that decimation, like just collecting out, wrapping around all the kills like a gift in a nice string box.
I mean, true. I mean, let's just look at Error and Granger. Granger not having the hard time, just forcing him to retreat at this point. And, like, both of these teams just gathering around Johan charging in. He might be looking for that engage right there, but the bouncing ball coming in. Look at the damage from the wind. And the diamond strip lands down to three people. That's a beautiful ultimate. The Numinous blast, though, will be connecting onto Johan, and it will be him taking the way. Just look at Fluffy Unicorn taking the second kill with the decimation, but the rest of the team is also there, joining in fine, looking for that kill as the whales are down a lot of HP. Look at that. Finally, Refe coming into that action with her ultimate. The revitalize has also been popped up, but Fine doesn't want to leave them. They want those kills as they are just diving in again and again, and I think Refe will be taking down with 1 HP. The last hit securing that kill. Right,
Lux is here as well.
true, but she will be able to wait a second, the double kill, and I think that was a really bad positioning because she was also taken down.
Lunas just jumped in with a power of darkness and then went to the Order of Brilliance. Like that is a very good skill, the rapidity coming in from Lunas, but at the same time, the positioning was really careless and jumping in there because she has used up all the skills and rapidity and she was taken down and she could not take one person down. So I just feel the time and rage.
I mean, you were asking me in the beginning of the game, Mako, that how do I like that tank? And I said, depends on the user. And then I'm absolutely in love with Zohan.
Loving it.
Kufra.
Yes, I am as well. Like I was so impressed with that Flicker Tyrant's rage, although he died and there was not much of a follower. And I was literally feeling bad for him. But look at them go. Like they are literally dishing out the damage, and Error at a very bad spot will be punished for that. But they already managed to take down the second tier turret as well, and the top lane has been completely clean up to the inhibitor.
I mean, I think a really good trade, but then again, there was quite an over engage because they will also be losing out a turtle. And with that, just look at that, the gold lead wasn't there, but now they're just pretty, like, almost equal, 14k.
Yeah, almost equal. Like a 700 gold difference is not much, and the kills are also the same, 6 to 6. Only they are leading in a bit of objective of the turrets, but at the same time, I just believe that it was a bit of unnecessary plays. Oh, look at the Tyrant's Revenge and Rage coming in, and the Windstorm also being used onto Lolita, but she survived. Like, was it a bit of wastage? Like, the Tyrant's Rage and the Windstorm, also the Infernal Pursuit, like, using 3 ultimates onto a Lolita.
Well, true, but they're diving in for those kills once again. I mean, even Hylos looking really low, 4 people behind him. I think he will be taken down pretty easily because right now it's like a rinse and repeat of the first game. Like even better because they're more in the aggro at this point. And look at that, Kongsi going alone, that's not something you do without any support. She manages to escape in 1 HP, but I think the turret will be taken down. Lunox also, I think you should just stay back because you did lose your life twice with that positioning.
The Mortal Coil coming in handy. Oh, look at the damage. 1 Windstorm and Luna almost was dead. Oh, the Death Sonata coming in, but not much damage, Like Granger does not have enough farm to deal some decisive damage, and turrets are falling one after other. Oh, the Glorious Party and the Unicorn Cold Blast. Whale with the defensive flicker, and everyone is trying to get away. Look at the damage coming in from Popol as well.
I mean, true, and that's Sonata just connecting. He really needs those stacks right now because it's only been 6 minutes. How much can you actually stack up? But just look at, LCF right now. They are on the aggro. They're controlling the enemy's movements. They're controlling the map. Like, once again, they're trying to just part in the people inside their base.
I feel like they are just gonna leave the turtle and go for the Lord directly.
Yes, I think they will be doing so, but just look at Kongsi getting stunned right there, and I think Pine going in, And the revitalize hasn't popped up, but it will be not enough to save that life. Look at fine, he's diving in for that second kill with the brilliant swarm. Will be able to secure the Lunox life. Lunox, the only one remaining. Just what happened there, Miko?
That was such a good play. The Infernal Pursuit jumping on while the windstorm was crashing down. Like, that was so much damage coming in as a combo from Phobius and Veil. That was so refreshing to watch, and the Order of Brilliance was the only thing which made Lunox survive, but she will be taken down as well. The damage is coming is real. But look at that, the destination has been popped out and a double kill onto Veil and... Okay.
Well, I think it will be a triple kill secured by that decimation. Whale is the only one remaining. A lot of overextension right there because they could have easily synced up the lanes, but instead they just decided to go in with Popal's dog to push the base.
I just feel like that rabid dog, it might not be rabid, but I'm just gonna consider it because I just stay away from it. Like, literally away.
I mean, what can I say? I like the Ox, but then again, I do not specifically like this, especially when it is on the enemy. But both the teams are contesting for the turtle. Lunox securing that last hit. Oh my god! I mean, great play, great play. Like
She was literally waiting for it, and she was so nice at stealing it. The Chaos Assault coming in as a cliche clutch. And well, although this might not be that helpful because this is not an enhanced log, but at the same time they do manage to cling on to life, and they've been surviving for a bit of time because if the Lord was gained on by the LCF team, this would have been really bad for the LUMINAIRE'S LYRE.
I mean, true, but now LCF will be looking to take down that Lord. But then once again, it's only 9 minutes into the game, and Bruno has yet to get his equipment. He only has the Berserker Fury, so his damage isn't enough. So I think if he gets farmed up, he will be decimating the enemy. But look at Fine, he's so aggressive. Tyrant looking really low. Meanwhile, the enemy also signing in. Fine and Johan right there trying to take that kill onto Quanxi. Quanxi looking really low, but the Glorious Pathway has been deployed in a defensive maneuver. Meanwhile, in the top lane, two marksmen looking to push it down. And they're just trying to defend at this point. Johan trying to charge up, but he will not be charging in.
Finally, Lunox gets her Holy Crystal, and that is a lot of damage, but at the same time, I just feel like she's missing a core item that could have been the glowing, because I just feel like they are not having enough aggression from their side, enough anti-heal coming from their side. Look at Popol, the Malefic gun as the first item and the anti-heal onto him. Like, that is looking really bad for Hylos as well. And all the shields getting nerfed from Lolita. And Tyrant's revenge onto Natalia. That was questionable, Kufra.
With Glorious Pathway has been deployed rapid between 5 people. The Revitalize has also been popped up, but he will be taken down as it was 1 versus 5. The team was just trying to heal up the Pneumono blast getting locked up by the Phobius. Fine going in for that one kill. The Brilliant Swarm also incoming, but Fine looking really low. It will be taken down by the Decimation. Johan just looking to disengage with his skills. Meanwhile, just look at Popal and Koopa, his damage. He's taking down people left and right. They just want that base at this point. But the Death Sonata taking one hit on to Peter, but Peter just survives.
Kufra was very, very low, and there was a lot of base damage. And Martis has tried to chase him in order to decimate him, but he got taken down. I just feel at this time you should be focusing on protecting your base and killing the minions instead of focusing on kills, especially on a tank,
I mean, true, I highly agree. And right now they even lost those 2 inhibitors. They're facing that minion pressure, and if LCF decides to take this next Lord, which they will be taking after all, but unless they go in way too deep, too aggressive, because if you see all the times they are kind of throwing the game.
Yes, I feel like a few decisions could have been really bad, and the game would have been a lot more better. I'm not sure exactly if it was win-worthy, but at the same time could have been better than this if those decisions were not made. And that is starting from the draft itself, by the way. So yeah, this looks hard.
Sure, but just look at Johan. He went in between 5 people. The tank dying before the enemy, before the Lord can march down. I think this was not a good thing which happened.
it's not a good thing, but he will not be back. But at the same time, he just zoned them out, and he completely kept them busy and got the free lord, like uncontested lord. Because if you remember last time, Lunox managed to steal it. So this time it was the defensive flicker has been used, and an imminent call on to Bruno.
I mean, look at Rafe, very bad positioning. He will be taken down like that. The Lord also marching down. Guangxi also taken down. Things are not looking good for them because the lane sync is also kind of perfect. But look at the damage coming from Lunox. But instead, she will also be losing that life. And the Tyrant is the sole man surviving him against the world. I do not think so that he is in that position to secure the base. But it's a Maniac with Pupil and Koopa. Like, ending the game with a Maniac. Like, once again, a great gameplay from the side of Team LCF.
Victory!
That was a great game indeed. As I said, like Hylos with a single target stun is really problematic when you're diving in, and a lot of engages were like not followed up because as I was saying, like there was a really good Numenon core blast onto Bruno and Hylos with the glorious pathway, but Lolita's ultimate was followed by Hylos and no one else, so Bruno just survived there, and the Husker was the first item he got. So I just feel like there wasn't enough damage to take him down, especially when LCF was dominating in the gold department. So well, and Popos did really good. Like the Maniac as a showstopper, well, he just earned the respect as a player besides gold. Oh, sorry, besides mage or gold as well.
Oh, yes, I highly agree. And at the same time, they kind of ended the game within 12 minutes. So I think the stacks on Granger weren't enough for the damage because he does have those equipments. But then again, LCF was overfarmed. They had a lot of gold, they had a lot of defense. I mean, just look at Johan. I don't think so. He had that build. He just changed it towards the end. But then, yeah, I think the execution was kind of lacking,
Yes.
especially again, the draft was kind of weird.
Completely, because I just feel like all the microplays coming in that was so well placed. The taking of the turrets and like making sure that the Lord is zoned out, all of those engages, the flicker tyrant's rage coming in, and the follow ups, like everyone was beautifully executed. And well, I just feel like it was well played by both the teams, but it was LCF which did take the trophy, and it was a clean sweep, like 2-0 for this round.
Well, yes, and LCF taking that victory. So I think this is the last match for today because, but we will be coming back with really good games, ladies and gentlemen. So do stay tuned with us.
Yes, exactly. Although today's matchups are over, we will be right back with much more interesting matchups right tomorrow, guys. So subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the stream so you do not miss out on the upcoming matches tomorrow.